Welcome everyone to DCS. We are in the Spitfire in Syria. So this particular RAF variant is a long way from home. Look, listen to all those pops and bangs. You can even see the fire there breathing out of that engine. DCS has got the best sounds of any sim I've ever come across for aircraft. I'll say that now, guys. But anyway, more importantly, we are using the Authenticate Spitfire replica yoke. So you can see there in the bottom right hand corner, that's me using it, and in the sim it looks exactly the same. Absolutely brilliant. And even using the actual wheel brake as well, which makes taxiing so much easier. So this video is going to be in two parts. The first one, we're going to do a display in peacetime, shall we say, over this airfield, and then later on we're going to try this in combat. Now, I don't actually have the other parts to this particular stick with me, so I mean, Phil is the mastermind behind Authenticate, and basically what you can do is print off your very own Spitfire replica stick or general aviation aircraft yoke or fighter stick for an F-18 Hornet, whatever you want to create. You can do that if you've got your own 3D printer. I think that's incredible. And Phil is proposing that all of his designs he's just going to give to the community for free, which I think is fantastic. So I think everyone needs to get behind this idea because it's brilliant. Right, anyway, let's go for this and see how she feels with using a proper Spitfire fighter stick. Pull the nose down a bit there. And we're already airborne. Whoa! Now, just to say, we're in the HP Reverb G2, and the sounds of this bird in this headset is absolutely beautiful. Right then, we've been clear for our display, so we're going to head back to the airfield and see how this feels, really. But you know, it's quite an incredible feeling when you're in VR and you feel the actual stick that you're looking at. I can't tell you what that does for the immersion factor. And as you can see here, it's beautifully smooth in DCS and feels really natural. I literally feel like I'm in my own Spitfire. And of all the Spitfires I've used over the years in different sims, I have to say, hand on heart, that the DCS version is the very best I've come across. Absolutely. This feels absolutely fantastic. Okay, so we're coming in for our first part of our display, which is a run-in. We'll go right up, and notice how I can be very gentle with this stick. It's very sensitive, but it's not overly sensitive. Like, I think the best way I can describe it is the radius of the axis is really, really nice, meaning that I can be very, very fine with this, very accurate, and that's going to help later on when we do a bit of dogfighting. But I have to say to Phil, thank you so much for this fantastic, I guess, contribution to the community. That he is putting all this hard work into making all these designs. And he has a website and YouTube instruction video on how to make your own fighter stick. I'll link all that in the description below. And I might just add a bit of that in this video as well, because I do think that his YouTube instructions are really high quality, and even a DIY novice like me could actually put one of these together. Now, just to remember, guys, that if you bought one of these, something like this, a full replica stick like this from the shops, you know, oh my god, I can't even imagine how much money that would be. And some companies, like Thrustmaster, they do actually sell, like, I think, bespoke F18 and F16 sticks, and they're a pretty penny. But all you need is a 3D printer, and you might think a 3D printer is a lot of money, but nowadays, actually, you can pick one up for a couple of £100, and then you've got access to limitless designs. Everybody needs to know about this. I've been using this stick in a variety of sims, IL2 and Microsoft Flight Simulator, X-Plane, and now DCS, and it just works really well. In fact, DCS picked up this stick without me even having to assign anything, so I thought it was very cool indeed. Right, I'll go for a victory roll here. But notice how I'm being really precise with the flying here. A victory roll can be quite hard to pull off. I'm using opposite rudder as well to keep myself centered on the display line here, and I felt really intuitive and very easy, very natural, literally just like the real thing, which you'd expect. Hesitation roll, look at that. Oh, wonderful. You really can't get much better than this, guys, to be honest, particularly for the price aspect. You know, if you were to, as I say, let a company like, I don't know, Cytec or GoFlight or Thrustmaster do the job for you, you are looking at a lot of money here. But this looks fantastic, it really does. And I've even got the cannons already as well. In fact, if I press this button here, we can get the sight to come up. Oh, actually, are we actually carrying any weapons today? Probably not. Anyway, we'll leave that for the part 2 of this video. This feels really, really believable, very convincing. I think, you know, DCS Spitfire inside this headset with this replica Spitfire, I keep saying sorry, fighter stick, it's just heaven. I think a flyby view is in order. Do you see what I mean, guys, about those sounds? Oh, beautiful. One more. Honestly, I was doing this all day yesterday, and I just had the biggest grin on my face you've ever seen. Yeah, this feels so natural. Right, what we'll do then, we'll finish our display with a loop. Something that the RAF BBNF display can't do anymore. They're not allowed to do loops, but we can. This is our own personal Spitfire. And we are a long way from home here in Syria. Right, we're nearly at 300 miles an hour. And up we go. Over the top. That is quite a feeling. Never gets old. Pulling back on the stick here. Nice tight loop. There we go. Fantastic. Right then. Time for a landing, I think. But as you can see here from the bottom camera, look at how well this is made. Now, thanks to Phil, he actually provided me with a review copy of this fighter stick. And you know, when it came, I had my reservations. I thought, well, you know, it's going to be homemade 3D printer job. I didn't expect it to look like this and feel so convincing. And I've probably got, oh God knows how many hours now using this stick in IL2 in the heat of combat, and you know what, it's never let me down, that's for sure. And you can make it look like this with this sort of the typical kind of green paint and make it look really convincing, but you know what, really the idea is that it feels like the right controller in VR. That's the big deal here. I feel like I'm sat in a Spitfire and I'm literally holding the stick in my hand just like it would be in the real thing. Oh, honestly, it's hard to describe it really, other than it feels absolutely 100% convincing. Right, anyway, we're going to go for a landing here and see how we get on. Okay, so here we are on approach. We're a little low actually. See if we can make a half decent landing, but I know my a chipmunk pilot that I spoke to a few days ago said a landing does not stop until you've parked up and the engine's off, and I have to agree with him with the tail dragger. So I'm going to do this nice and slowly here, feeling every movement here of this stick. It's really nice. Come on baby, there we go. We're back on the deck and we're going to use the wheel brake now to slow down. And once I feel we're okay, yeah, I'm going to show you now. Look at that. As I'm moving the wheel brake, that's moving it in DCS. And something that people do struggle with, and that's taxiing the Spitfire. So we're going to do, I'm just going to show you a bit of a tip of how to do that. Right, hang on. I've jettisoned canopy. I don't really want to do that, but you know what? For the purpose of this, we're just going to jettison it. There we go. I won't recommend doing that all the time. Right, anyway. So now that our canopy's off, in VR, this is something I absolutely love. And I did show this on a DCS Spitfire video quite a while ago. But I think it's worth pointing out that in VR, you can look outside of the cockpit left and right. And honestly, that feels just brilliant. You feel like you're inside your own Spitfire. And see, I'm actually moving. I was about to go into a ground loop there. So what I did is I actually moved my wheel brake and pressed it just slightly to counteract that sort of feeling of going into that ground loop. And what I also recommend, guys, is that you do S-turns so that you know where you're going. You can actually see either side of the nose. That's what they do in real life in the real Spitfire. So what I'm doing right now is moving along the runway, doing S-turns so I can see where I'm going. And as soon as I start to feel like then, I start to feel like I'm moving too much to the left hand side there and I was about to spin, I just dab a little bit of a wheel brake in, which helps me maintain a sort of decent line on the runway here. I can even hear, I don't know if you can hear that on the actual audio, guys, but I can, as I pop my head out, I can hear the rush from the propeller going over me with these index style headphones. This is just heaven. Right, what we'll do is we'll park over in this direction to our right, I think. This is a really big airport. I don't want to end up causing too many delays of all the busyness here, although it does seem a little bit quiet. Right, so again, see what I'm doing on the bottom right hand camera. I'm dabbing my wheel brake, a little bit of power, feeding the the rudder in here, looking out the window, doing a bit of a wide turn there. Listen to those sounds. Oh my goodness me, oh, beautiful. Right, I'll tell you what, we'll go. In fact, this is a perfect example here with this really small taxiway that you can actually be quite, you see there, I was starting to turn a little bit too much to the left, so I used the wheel brake to make sure that I keep myself in check here. Again, doing just a little less turn here, just to keep myself on the taxiway. Honestly, even before getting in the air, you can spend hours just finessing your taxiing skills, and then you can apply this to other tail draggers. I probably look ridiculous on that screen, because I'm just basically doing this, but as you can see, I'm actually inside a Spitfire right now. Oh, I love it, absolutely love it. Right, let's just go in here, look. We'll just park near this hangar here. And there we go, guys, that's my first look at, I guess, trying the replica Spitfire fighter stick, which you can make at home with a 3D printer inside DCS. And to be honest, the whole thing together with the HP Reverb G2, oh, it's absolute heaven. It really is, it's heaven. thank you so much for watching. The next video, we'll be trying our skills out at dog fighting. God knows how that's going to go. But looking forward to that. I'll see you soon. And by the way, Happy New Year! Bye-bye for now.